Hey guys, it's your girl Jay. I'm here with your midday message. It's gonna be called Jay's midday message. Um, I know sometimes we get up in the morning and we watch service or sermons or Bible study. I do. Sometimes we do it at night when we get home from work. But you know, God put it in my heart to do a midday message. Cause sometimes we need a little tune up in the middle of the day, right? We need a little reminder that, because life happens. You're interacting with people. The kids are kids in. Your husband is husband in. Your wife is wife in. The car is car in. Everything is doing something. A bill came out you wasn't expected, and your bank account was already low, so now it's lower. Sometimes it might be below zero. So you need a little something to just jolt you back and just remind you whose you are and who you are, right? So I want to tell the story. Um, yeah, no, my new thing now is humor me. So I'm gonna tell this little story about last week. Something that happened to me. So I had a customer. It's a repeat customer. I've cut his hair before. And he does the same thing every time he comes. He sits down, pulls out his phone, shows me about 7 pictures of the same haircut, but all different times of the haircut. So one picture might be 2 days after you had the picture, and by the time you get to picture 7, it's like 4 to 6 weeks out. So of course, the hair grows. So you can see the shape, but it's not as tapered to the head. It's not as close. It's not as clean. So I always ask them the same question. Show me the picture, that you want it closest to. Because in the winter, sometimes men stay longer. In the summer, because it's hot, they go shorter, right? So this time he showed me 2 pictures. Both of the pictures were at 2 different times of the haircuts, from when he got the haircut. So one was maybe a couple of days after the haircut, and then the other one was maybe closer to the end of the haircut. So he typically tells me to keep the top longer with the look because he's thinning, right? Um, and he wants to keep as much hair to cover the hair loss. So I said, okay, so you want it to be a little tight on the sides, but you want to keep as much as on top as possible. And my man lost it. No, 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 no. You're not listening to me. I want it to look just like this. So I said to him, but typically you're not listening. So I proceeded to lean and point. If I have any of my New York clients that I used to service them, they know what the lean and point is, right? Quick story about the lean and point. The lean and point is when I proceed to tell you in a nice way, I can no longer service you. And it goes a little something like this. I want you to be happy spending your money. I want to be happy receiving your money for your service. And at this time, it doesn't look like that we can come to a common ground of what you're asking of. And I don't want you to pay me for something that you're not happy with. And I want you to be happy with every coin that you spend. So with that being said, I will not be able to service you today, but you're free to go to any other stylist in the salon or go to any salon of your choosing, but I will not be able to service you today. You can have a blessed rest of your day. Okay? I nicely turn the chair, remove the cape if they're caped, and they're escorted out of my section, not the store, my section, right? Because someone else could probably service them. They could get a better understanding, maybe get along a little better with them. But I say it very, very nice and gentle, and I've done it maybe about 5 to 6 times in my 20-something year career of doing hair. But everyone is like, you just put them out? Like, what happened? Like, yeah, no, I don't have to yell, scream, and curse to get my point across, all right? So, back to the story. So I went to do the leaning, and I was on to go, okay, listen. And God said, close your mouth. And he said, I want it this way, blah, 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 blah. While he's talking, I get my clippers, I get my guards, I caped him, and I cut his hair. You look a little apprehensive. Open your mouth and say something. I say nothing. Anybody know me now? That, right? But that's the old. The new me, I listen. I'm obedient, right? So I cut his hair, did the cut, made sure to do everything exactly the way he asked, right? Because at the end of the day, that's still my profession, that's still my job, and I'm required to provide a service. Now, I'm not a servant. I provide a service. There's a difference. Sometimes people get in your chair because you provide a service. They think you're a servant. And that was kind of the behavior he was exhibiting. But once again, I was listening. So, cut his hair. Went and got the mirror. Still didn't open my mouth. Put it behind him. Showed him the back of the cut. Perfect. Exactly what I want. Thank you. You know what? I think I want to get a shampoo. That's when I open my mouth. Sure. Anything you need, just let me know. I'm here to service you. Shampooed his hair. Oh my God, that felt so good. I needed that. Got him to the chair, dried him, put in his finishing product, do the little sprucing up, send him along his way, right? I wasn't expecting a tip. Tipped me. Actually, the best tip he's ever gave me sitting in the chair before, okay? He doesn't tip bad, but this was a good tip. Okay, fine, whatever. So now I'm paid for the service, and I'm tipped okay. All right. So when he left, I looked at one of the stylists, and I said, you know I was about to put him out my chair, right? She said, why? You was just so calm. So I told her the story. She was like, but he never behaves like that. I said, I know. So about a couple of seconds later, she said, but he is going through a really nasty divorce. And I said, oh. I say all that to say this, right? Sometimes you see the problem and you're pulled into the problem, but you're not the cause of the problem. And by your response, you can now become a part of the problem. I could have responded to him in kind, right? I could have met him where he was. I could have matched his energy. Anybody knows me know I can go there. And go there. And go there. He would have went 10, I'd have went 20. He'd have went 30, I'd have went 40. He'd have went 40, it'd have been over. Because anybody know me know I don't do too much arguing either, right? But in me being obedient and in me being silent, I diffused something that could have been a fire. It could have went from a spark and it could have combusted into a big fire of chaos, right? We'd have been arguing. It could have possibly got physical because I don't know where he was at, because I took something personal that was personal, but to him. It had nothing to do with me, right? And I learned that in that moment that sometimes you have to realize it's not about you. People have life going on, right? And people have personal things going on. And they may not wear it on their sleeve, or it's not written on the shirt. Like my message is written on the shirt, right? I'm going through a divorce today. Be nice. I lost a family member today. Be nice. I lost my job today. Be kind. I am going through depression. Give me a hug. My trauma came back up today. I'm having PTSD. You know, I woke up this morning, I had my last $10 and a bill that was on auto pay came out, and I don't know how to feed my kids. I'm figuring out how to get oodles and noodles to feed my children. People are not walking around with that on their shirt, with it on the sleeve, with it on their forehead. You don't know what they're going through. And what you can do is you can exasperate. You can make a situation worse that you have nothing to do with, but it may have been, you know what I mean, targeted towards you at that moment, but it's not you. It's not you. And what you do can leave an impression or an impression at that time, right? So what do you want to leave? Do you want to leave the impression of yourself that, or the memory of you with that person that while I was going through this, they added and they compounded, although no fault of your own. You compounded to their problem? Or I was going through a divorce and, you know, it was a rough moment and I just got the phone, and I don't know this to be true, but just got the phone with the lawyer and they're going to give her 75% and give me 25%, even though I came in full with all this from the marriage and she cheated. And then I went to go get a haircut and the lady put me out the chair and I couldn't even get a haircut and you know, and make me feel better. Or it could have been, was going through the divorce, and I remember, I was nasty with Jay. But she was so kind. And even though she don't know what I was going through, she cut my hair. And even though it didn't get rid of my problem, it made me feel a little better. Because, listen, one of my locks untwist. I'm twisting. I need to stop because I'm be thinning, but I'm twisting. When your hair is done, you have your makeup on, you're dressed nice, you know what I mean? You buy yourself something new, you get your nails done, get your eyebrows waxed, or whatever it is. It makes you feel a little better in that moment. It does something for you, right? And I want to be that. That's what I want people to see. I want people to see that the kindness, the gentleness, right? The slow to anger. A soft answer turns away a wrath, right? That brings me to Proverbs 15:1. A gentle answer deflects anger, but harsh words make tempers flare. What part of that verse do you want to be? Do you want to flare it? Do you want to add to it? Or do you want to calm it down? Or not even join it, right? Because try to argue with somebody that's either talking soft or not talking at all. It's very hard to do. What part do you want to play? Do you want to be on that side of it? Or do you want to be remembered to, I was going through, I was a little hard, they were kind, right? And as a follower, as a believer, as someone that said they got Jesus Christ, how are you supposed to behave? What is the posture you're supposed to take? What are you supposed to say? What are you supposed to do when it's in your face? And you could too, right? Do you want to? Or do you want to? Because sometimes silence is a solution. All right? With that being said, it's your girl Jay. I'm not for everyone, but I'm for someone. So go ahead and click the like, share button, subscribe. Well, if I'm not for you, but even if I am, hit the subscribe, right? Because maybe it might not be for you today, but it might be for you one day. Because we all need a message at some time, okay? See you next time. It's your girl Jay, one half of the Dizzy Gillespies. Peace.